Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live as we head towards the weekend. It is in Chillicothe, Feast of the Flowering Moon weekend. We'll get into that here shortly, but we also happen to have the roar and thunder of dirt track racing this weekend.
Yeah.
Like you haven't heard it in 13 years. We'll explain why coming up here shortly, but good to be back.
It's good to see you back. I know you've been busy this week, and your busy week continues tonight and tomorrow.
It does. Western commencement at Western High School down in Latham. And then tomorrow we will crown queens at the feast. Looking forward to that. All right, but in the meantime, let's take a look. We had weather yesterday, and we're going to experience some more today.
Yeah, it really poured. Some areas had some severe storms, but most of the area had just the real heavy rain, some flooding. And what's on tap for the rest of the day? More the same. Maybe not as hard a rain, but we're going to get rain steady throughout the day, ending sometime maybe after 11 o'clock tonight. But then the weekend will look as good as the last couple of days has been wet. That's Chamber of Commerce weather on Saturday, 73 for a high, 82 on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then on Memorial Day, close to 90. So there's what you have weather-wise.
But we do want to take a moment just to tell you, and before we show you this video, it is recommended that you don't drive through high water on the roadways. This is courtesy Dan Jr., who devised logic many times.
Just now discovered
I don't know who his parents were, but this was Morgan's Fork Road, just north of our house. This is at the base of the hill, so getting ready to go up the hill here, but we had 3.5 inches of rain in my rain gauge in the house. And last night, for a certain period of time, it sounded as if we were sitting inside a car wash for about 20 minutes. It was incredible.
Hopefully you didn't roll the window.
It did not. And we didn't have any wax or anything like that. There was no blow drying afterwards. You may run into some more of this before today is done, but just in case, again, if you see high water, turn around and go the other way.
That's right.
As Mike says, don't drown. Yes.
Yeah. Some of the other headlines at littermedia.com. You've probably heard so much about this place over the years, the U.S. Department of Energy, and I wonder what it looks like inside. Well, after being off for a few years, they're bringing back their guided bus tours at the Department of Energy and Fluor-BWXT. Those will be starting back up later this summer. Now, they're free of charge, but they're open to any U.S. citizen, and you have to be 18 and older. The dates for this unique opportunity are July 16th, August 20th, September 17th, and October 15th. More information on how you can signed up for the guided tour on our website story.
Now, I'm just speculating here, but seeing this come back, I have to believe that Science Alliance is going to be making a comeback too, because that's where the kids go down in October and they learn about science and how it's used here, but how it can help them with their education down the road. So after a couple of years off of that, the kids will be excited to get back to that too.
Yeah. Obviously a fascinating place, and I think there's a bit of history in this tour as well, going back to the A-bomb development era, because some of the materials that originally came out of there were used for the atomic bomb.
And that's one of the things they do during the Science Alliance, too. They bring the kids in and they show them a presentation because they started collecting history of the entire complex, and they go through a very informational, but it is not only informational, it is entertaining too. The kids are engaged in it. It's really neat.
As Dan mentioned at the top of the news today, the Feast of the Flowering Moon officially gets underway at 11 o'clock. It's already past 11. It's underway. But they're obviously being greeted by some wet weather. Some of the activities this weekend, of course, it gets much better weather-wise over the weekend. The Ducky Derby, that's one of Dan's favorites. That's at 1 o'clock on Sunday at Yoctangee Park Lake. Also Sunday is a Vietnam Veterans Remembrance. That's being put on by the DAR at 2 at Veterans Monument Park. But after that, a Veterans Parade is at 4 o'clock. I think that's more aligned with the Feast of the Flowering Moon. But again, the festival began many years back in the 80s to celebrate the Native American culture in our region.
And after the parade, we will be crowning these 4 girls right here. It's a much smaller group than we've had in previous years. And they just said, you know what, we usually select 3 girls, but we're going to make sure all 4 are included in the court this year. So good luck to these girls. I'll be there for the announcement of that on the main stage after the parade tomorrow.
Speaking of Memorial Day, weekend services are planned at many area communities, all the different counties that we serve here at Litter Media. Of course, that's to pay tribute to those who fell in the line of military duty serving the nation. This includes a Veterans Parade that we just talked about on May 28th at 4 o'clock here in Chillicothe. And up in Circleville, they have a parade that will be going on at 9 a.m. in the downtown, and that's May the 30th in Circleville. The annual Deercreek Dam Days will be held in the Pickaway County village of Williamsport, June 1st through the 4th. Deercreek Dam Days Festival is free and for the whole family. That includes music, food, games, and rides for all ages. Day 1 is June 1st, includes a 6 p.m. parade, then the Queen Contest at 7. Some of the stories making headlines today at littermedia.com.
I can't say I've ever been to the Deercreek Dam Days.
I haven't either. Talked to some people that have been there, and Williamsport comes alive during these 3 days.
We'll have to go up to Mustang territory and check it out.
Yeah.
So, all right, coming up here shortly, Mike has a look at sports. It's that time of the year. It's busy, and a lot of things, postseason tournaments and things. We'll get into that shortly. And the Litter Media Wayback Machine goes where today?
1943, World War II.
World War II.
But there's a sports connection to the story.
Is there really?
Yes, sir.
Why am I not surprised? All right, coming up, we've got those items for you. But first, let's tell you about our friends at Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. If you've got issues, they're there to help. If it's, heating's not a problem right now, unless your heater's going on and your AC's not working.
And with the water, the plumbing comes in with a sump pump.
You bet. So if you've got an emergency, let them know. Just click on this ad anywhere at littermedia.com, and it will take you right to their website to learn more about how they can help you in your service territory. Now, their service territory stretches a wide range. So if you want to find out more of where they're located, just click on this ad at littermedia.com. And a big weekend for these guys with the World of Outlaws. We'll talk about that in sports coming up.
Introducing Budweiser Zero. 0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar. Full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero. Zero compromise.
Husqvarna handhelds, chainsaws, trimmers, leaf blowers, hedge trimmers, and more. Buy it here, get it serviced here. Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue, Chillicothe.
This is Big Chillicothe. Horizon's 100% fiber internet service is coming to your area. Call 740-772-8331 or visit horizonconnects.com/Chillicothe to sign up today.
Great folks at the Chillicothe VA Medical Center taking care of our men and women who have served so bravely in uniform during times of conflict and times of peace to make sure that we don't have conflict. I know the folks at the Chillicothe VA Medical Center during this somber and actually it's a sacred weekend that we need to remember back to all of those veterans that did not come home from conflict. Chillicothe VA Medical Center, where we put veterans first, saluting those brave men and women who gave their all for our country.
And we'll be visiting out there a lot this summer because the paints open next week.
Hard to believe it's
where's the time gone?
Yeah.
They open the season on Wednesday, June 1st, but the first home game isn't until Thursday, June 2nd. So just wanted to give them a shout out as we head into sports.
Yes, sir. And this top story is something that they've been hollering about at Atomic Speedway since last winter.
Oh, you bet, because when Charlie Vest stepped in, he said, we have something coming back that's not been here in years.
Yeah, 13 years, in fact. The World of Outlaw Racing. And tomorrow night, when the event takes place, the weather looks like it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. I did talk to Charlie earlier today. He says we've got to do something about the lake that's in the infield right now. So they're working on that throughout the day today. But it's going to be a fantastic night. And World of Outlaws, when they come to town, look out, because it is there's sprint car racing and then there's World of Outlaws racing. And it brings a crowd, no question there. And as he said on his Facebook Live broadcast last night, if you want to bring your campers in Friday and all that kind of stuff, do what you need to. But they did cancel tonight's event. They're moving it to another date. But as for right now, they're gearing up. It's all WOO.
Woo.
WOO, the World of Outlaws.
Woohoo! Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that. The weather has played a role in a number of postseason events. Now, the Division II track and field regionals at Chillicothe High School, they got about 6 events in last night, and then they had to suspend it because of the storms that were coming through. Scioto was the only local team that won an event and a regional championship. That was the boys 4x800. So they'll pick this up where they left off Saturday morning at the O here at Chillicothe's stadium downtown, and that will be with the field events at 10:30. The running events get underway at noon at Chillicothe High School. Now, the OHSAA State Tennis, which has a doubles team from Waverly and singles player Penn Morrison, that's at the Lindner Center, but because of the inclement weather, they have the facilities inside where they can go, and that's what they're planning to do. In fact, as we're speaking, it's 20 after 11. They're going to go indoors and start up at 11:30 this morning. Now, the Division III baseball finals that were supposed to be held yesterday, they've been moved to today. Supposed to be Farrell and Meggs at noon with Zane Trace Minford at 4 p.m. There's a possibility that those could still be postponed to tomorrow as we are speaking. But as of right now, nothing has been announced there. Division I baseball yesterday between Lancaster and Grove City. That was scoreless in the 6th inning when it was suspended by rain. They'll try to pick it up over at Beaver Field in Lancaster later today. And scheduled tomorrow, D3 softball championship game, which involves the Wheelersburg Lady Pirates. That's at Scioto High School, and that gets underway at noon tomorrow.
If you want to see some good softball, get out there tomorrow.
They are slick. I was telling their coach, Teresa Ruby, last week, I said, Coach, that infield looked crisp. They do a fantastic job, and that's probably why they've been ranked number 1 all year. High school coaching staff and high school player coaches from Zane Trace will assist head coach Gary Kello with a boys basketball camp for grades 2 through 7, June 6th through the 8th. Now, the deadline for mailing your application and fee in has passed. But Gary said if you want to get your kids to the camp, you can take it out to the Zane Trace Middle School office, or you can bring your registration and camp money, $35 per person, on the first day, which is June the 6th.
I remember when Coach K had dark hair and he was working the Corky Miller basketball camps.
Yeah.
And now here roles have reversed in a great way.
Some time ago.
Yeah.
Well, the Reds, who've had struggles throughout the year, had a party yesterday at the expense of the Chicago Cubs. No, you're not seeing something wrong there. That's a 20-5 Cincinnati win, 20 runs on 20 hits. Just too bad they can't spread some of those runs out.
It was an interesting game. And, the night before, I thought there were going to be fisticuffs. I don't know if you heard anything about that, but there was some jawing going back and forth. There was some of that yesterday also. The Reds were down 3-2. They went on to score 8 times in the 3rd inning. And then Hunter Green was able to come right back. He gave up 2 back-to-back home runs.
I did see that,
yeah. And that made it a little tighter. But next thing you know, the Cubs just kind of surrendered, put in a shortstop who was pitching, and I think I could have thrown. Yeah, I think that, and I could have thrown probably faster than he was throwing too.
That was the symbolic white flag at that point.
It was.
We give up.
It was. But the Reds earned a split.
Yeah.
They won 2 of the 4, and now they get ready for the San Francisco Giants. We'll see what they're really made of.
Yeah. The news not so good for the Cleveland Guardians. They were taking on Detroit for second day in a row. They come up on the short end. Yesterday or last night's score was 4-3. And that is a look at sports. We're going to have sports on this day in World War II history coming up in just a moment.
All right. And first, let's tell you about our friends at McDonald's. McDonald's is located here locally in Circleville, in Greenfield, in Waverly, and 4 locations here in Chillicothe. If you've not stopped in, I tried something for the first time the other day, Mike. I saw it on the menu. It said for a limited time, and I'm like, I'm all about this. I'm jumping in.
Yeah.
It was the chocolate caramel pretzel McFlurry.
That's interesting.
I had dessert before I ate my meal.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, I jumped right into that.
Now,
bad
what was
boy.
that again? Chocolate?
It had chocolate, it had caramel, pretzel, and the McFlurry.
You have to try that.
You have to try it. It was very good. So that's one of the items that you can get during the season of what we have now, the early kickoff to summer. And that also includes, they've got the mango tropical slushies, and you can get the strawberry watermelon slushies, the other different varieties they have there too. And don't forget the crispy chicken sandwich. It comes in 4 different varieties.
I knew when I went from Columbus to Ohio University the other day, I was not at one of our McDonald's because they were missing a few elements that I wanted to have that day.
See?
So, Chillicothe, Circleville, Waverly, and Greenfield, thumbs up to all you guys. You do it right.
All the more reason to eat McDonald's at home.
That's right.
So make sure you do that. And they have open interviews with the manager every Wednesday. So if you're looking for a new job, stop in to one of those locations 2 to 5 every Wednesday for an open interview. McDonald's!
I'm loving it.
This date in history on the way next.
Hi, I'm Dave Pinkerton with Advanced Services Heating and Cooling, your local heating and cooling expert. If you want quality service, quality installation, give Advanced Services a call, 740-773-4499.
If sweat is your body's natural way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. If you see one of these large orange dumpsters out there, it's bright, it's eye-catching, and when the sun hits it just right, you know that it's Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Give them a call at 740-253-8389, and they will haul what you put in these dumpsters away, just like that. But first, you got to give them a call so that you can get a dumpster for whatever the job is that you have going on, whether it's at home or if it's commercial. They can get you taken care of. 740-253-8389 for Scioto Valley Dumpsters. It is time to step into the Litter Media Wayback Machine, and Memorial Day weekend, why not talk about a veteran?
Yeah. This story may have been unknown to many people, but when it came to book form and then later on in a motion picture, a major motion picture, which has since had a sequel, that's where the story became even more known. This date in 1943, a B-24 carrying U.S. airman and former Olympic runner Louis Zamperini crashes into the Pacific Ocean. After surviving the crash, Zamperini floated on a raft in shark-infested waters for more than a month before being picked up by the Japanese and spending the next 2 years in a series of brutal prison camps. His story of survival was featured in a 2010 best-selling book and later produced movie by the name Unbroken. Laura Hildenbrand was the author of that book. great story. Louis had a lot of struggles coming out of this experience in World War II, but later became a born-again Christian and was able to actually make an attempt to go back to Japan to tell the person, they called him the Bird. He was the camp commander, and he was the one that was brutalizing Louis. And Louis just wanted to express that he forgave him, but that person would not meet up with him. Yeah. And then when the Olympics were held, the Winter Games in Japan, Louis Zamperini was the one that carried the torch through the city streets of whatever city they were in. It wasn't Tokyo, that particular Winter Olympics. But since that time, Louis has passed on. But a great story of endurance and later forgiveness, Louis Zamperini.
Was it Sapporo, Japan?
Could be. I wasn't sure. But I know it was Winter Games.
It was 1968, maybe?
Well, since then. This was less than 10 years ago, I think. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, he was an old man when he was running through the streets with the torch. So.
Gotcha. Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch,
yeah,
but it was a great movie, and the message that it carried was fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, as we head into the Memorial Day weekend, we will not be here on Monday, so there will not be a Litter Media Live on Monday. But back at it again on Tuesday, so enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Feast of the Flowering Moon. Enjoy the World of Outlaws. Make sure you enjoy the cookouts, whatever you're doing. I've got, and I'm sure there's other commencements that are going on too. Make sure you're enjoying those, and remember those that we have lost. It is the weekend where we decorate graves and remember the people that we have had in our lives, and those who have given their lives so that we can have the liberties that we enjoy today. So until next week, have a great weekend, and thanks for watching Litter Media Live.